This week's Race of the Week comes from the British Kart Championships, and what a race it was this week in the Micromax category. Fighting all the way through, up and down the top 10, and a battle for the lead, and a very popular race winner in the end. This week's Race of the Week, Micromax, British Kart Championships from Dunkeswell.
What are we going to see here? There's Nigel Edwards on the button, ready to get us underway for this final. We are green and racing in Micromax UK. Good start for both the SFRs at the front of the order. Albert J. Stubbs had a bit of a wobble there, but got the grip, got up the inside and has taken second place away from Benedictas Masiokas. Dian Pahal on the attack. Dian Pahal already up to fourth. Make that third. Brilliant stuff from the RCE driver there. Taking through positions onto the podium, but here comes Masiokas back again, wanting to retake that third place on the podium. It's been a bit of an unfortunate start for Ralph Martin. You can see the number 32 there down the order in around, I reckon, 11th or 12th place is fighting with Charlie Page. But great start, Nicole, for Alfie Garrett from pole position, continuing the form that we've seen so far this weekend.
Great start as well for one of our female drivers out there, Chloe McGill. She looks like she's picked up some positions early on within the race, started a little bit further down the order. She's also out there for SFR alongside her teammates Alfie Garrett and Benedictas Masiokas. So yeah, Chloe McGill has made up 6 places within that opening lap. Ansel Murray, who we saw in the paddock show get that good result in the tyre changing competition for Viritools, he's also on the charge, up by 9 places to sit in 6th, and it is that battle for about 6th position that's really going on. Here we have then Chloe McGill trying to have a look at Pharaoh in front of her, but loses the position now to Dimitar Uzanov. Back to the conversation about your front runners. Garrett, Stubbs and Benedictas Masiokas. Stubbs is in there now.
Yeah.
We saw this from him at Warden Law in the Water Swift category.
We did.
Really lights up at the end of the day. He did a similar thing at Wilton Mill, and he's showing us once again for SFR, this is where it counts. This is the stage where everything actually matters. And he's there now, right there in P2, pushing around Alfie Garrett, and crucially is splitting apart those 2 SFR drivers who have towed each other around pretty much all weekend.
Have indeed. Dax Farah's under investigation for something that's happened out there. Unfortunately down in 18th place. I think the results will not tell the full story for Dax Farah this weekend. It's been really good to see from free practice on Friday. Dax regularly up in the order. Yeah, probably that consistency is the next step for Dax Farah to convert that pace into the big results, but it has not gone unnoticed in this commentary box that Dax Farah has had a good weekend. Through the dogleg then to complete the 3rd lap of the race.
A few positions lost then for Dimitar Uzanov, who I've got to apologise to because I did mistake him for Ralph Martin on the grid walk, but it was Dimitar that we caught up with, and he gave some good insight and very much looked excited for this race. Within this one, having a bit of a tough start, is being hustled for position. Ansel Murray has overtaken him now for that 8th position. Ansel Murray up by 7 places. Another driver joining us from India this weekend alongside Arshi Gupta. She's down there at 19th place. She's also flying the flag for India within this grid. Eyes back on, though, this battle for the race lead, and who has arrived now? Benedictas Masiokas has caught up considerably to the likes of Albie Stubbs and teammate Alfie Garrett. That is going to bring the Harris Barber into things as well. Harris Barber is your fastest driver out there on the circuit. They head down then into pit bend once more. Albie Stubbs on the timing, looks like he's in the race lead, but he is sat there in 2nd position. Just a bit of a timing issue, so it is Stubbs that was in 2nd position, and I take that back because he goes down the inside of Alfie Garrett now. It was also like the timing had manifested the position change for us. Stubbs is now your driver that leads the way.
Yeah, and I think as well what's impressive here is that Albie's taken a big step forward. Obviously, he's with Sam Pollitt Racing now, which is one of the places to be in this paddock at the moment. And there's Masiokas down the inside of Garrett to take the race lead. In fact, Masiokas is going to go for the race lead. So he'd gone up into 2nd place, nearly had the race lead off of turn 8 there. But Stubbs now with Sam Pollitt Racing. It was this stage last year where they started winning races. Are they going to win another one here? Well, if they are, they're going to have to beat these two SFR runners. And here comes Harris Barber as well, up into third place for Strawberry Racing. LBJ Stubbs down to 6th. Dean Pahal on the scene. That's a very good move from Dean Pahal at the first opportunity. And that's the driver in the number 23 up to 4th.
Masiokas, though, see it time and time again for him. He really lights up in the later stages of races or after a couple of laps. Sometimes takes a little while just to get into the flow of things, but he looks like he's found that rhythm now. And this is one of those tracks where you need that rhythm. Lap times out there, 54 seconds by Albie Stubbs, your race leader, but typically you see these drivers in the late 53s if they're one of those quicker drivers up the front. Benedictus Masiokas now is your fastest driver out there on the circuit, still holds that purple lap. The previous lap, though, was a 53.53 set by him. Doesn't look like he feels any pressure from Harris Barber, who's jumped up into second position ahead of Alfie Garrett. So Straubs are now on the charge. Harris up by 4 places within this final, really making it count. And, you know, proving that thing we've said a couple of times this weekend. High risk, high reward. And one of the drivers that looks like they're maybe going for a bit of risk is Dean Pahal, trying to hang it round the outside of the 47 and makes it work. Goes into Hanger Bend then as your driver in third position, ahead of now Garrett and Stubbs.
And now the job is to keep pushing forward. If you're Dean Pahal, there's a bit of a gap there, a bit of real estate to drive into behind Harris Barber in second place. I tell you what I'm enjoying to see from Harris Barber as well is like the newfound confidence, which I think kind of kicked in halfway through the meeting at Warden Law. That belief of, yep, there's a chance there to overtake, go out, do it, get the move, get the position, then move on to the next one. As Stubbs and Garrett get into one another there through turn 3. And unfortunately, Albert Farrow had nowhere to go there. Ralph Martin takes advantage of the situation, goes up 2 spots. Alfie Garrett, it's just slipping away, I feel, in this race for Alfie Garrett. But again, it's been a really big step forward for Alfie Garrett this weekend. Fastest through timed qualifying, winning in those heats as well.
Looks like Stubbs is a little bit shaken up within this stage then, Andrew, because he's just dropped back into the clutches of Ralph Martin, who's on a good run of things now. Ralph, one of your few rookie drivers within this race. Is the move going to be on into pit bend? Yes, it is. So now Ralph Martin overtakes Stubbs for that top 4 spot. Leads this second pack of karts then. It's still Stubbs that's within the fight. Stubbs, mechanic is Sam Budget, and one of those mechanics out there that's got a lot of experience and can actually push that onto a driver and, you know, help to pull them along. When we were talking about Cam Nelson earlier on, it helps these drivers so much when they have a mechanic that's experienced in racing themselves or is experienced in winning with a driver. And I definitely think the setup that Albie Stubbs is being given this year with that mechanic is really helping to push him forward.
Things at the front starting to change. Harris Barber and Dean Pahal have been doing some very good stuff the last couple of laps. They have reeled in Benedictus Masiokas. Top 3 now covered by half a second. Dimitar Uzanov was going for an overtake there as well, I think trying to get past Stubbs for P6. Now, the interesting thing for me, Nicole, is you've still got 6.5 minutes on the clock here. Ralph Martin's been pretty quick in clear air so far this week. He's had a bit of bad luck perhaps in some of the races, but we know that the number 32 has good speed this weekend. Do we see these 3 all on different teams as well, of course, different entrants? Do they work together or do they fight? Because if they fight, I think Ralph Martin could be with them pretty quickly. Well,
I would definitely have to agree, but looking at the way that Harris Barber is driving that Strawberry OTK kart now, I definitely say that he's going to be having a look very shortly. He is faster than the driver in front of him, Benedictus Masiokas, by just half a tenth, and I could see one of the Strawberry TMs on that grandstand signalling to Harris. It's one of those things, these teams have codes, and sometimes it looks like they're doing the YMCA on the side of the track. They're not. They're actually communicating with the drivers, and I'm sure Harris is probably being told what the gap is to Dean Pahal behind him, when he needs to go for that move for the race leader of Benedictus, and I think it will be shortly. Harris is looking really strong within this one, and you can tell that Benedictus is aware of that because he's starting to just hug that white line slightly more, starting to look over his shoulder as they head down towards the dogleg section. Is it going to give Harris an opportunity as they head down, start, finish straight and towards pit bend? We will find out. And what is the gap between these two drivers? It is now under a tenth of a second, and Benedictus Masiokas, this is the stage. He looks a bit nervous out there, he's checking over his shoulder and he's starting to defend there, and that's cost Harris Barber now because Dian Pahal has taken advantage and overtaken into second position.
Lovely stuff from Dian Pahal there. There was a gap that's actually triggered a little bit, I think, by the defence of Benedictus Masiokas, that Harris Barber was forced to go to drivers right there. Pahal stepped down the inside. These three are quicker than Martin at the moment. They're all in the mid-56ers. 56, 53.6, 53.5, 53.4. Meanwhile, Ralph Martin at 53.7 last time around. Fastest driver on the circuit right now, LBJ Stubbs on a 53.2. So I tell you what, Uzanov, Garrett and Stubbs might not be out of this. That's some useful pace at this stage of the race, as Masiokas and Pahal fighting into turn one there. This might be the opportunity for Harris Barber to at least get back up to second place, as there goes Pahal down the inside and takes the race lead. Barber sweeps round the outside, gets on the power out of turn three. Harris Barber now leads here for Strawberry Racing. What a result this would be. This would close the gap in the championship as well to Masiokas, who would still hold the lead in the championship. But that was brilliantly brave stuff from all three drivers, Nicole.
Harris Barber there just I'd say he read those two drivers like a book through that complex section. Really got it right, did the Strawberry driver, and that's benefited him because he will come under the start-finish gantry as we hit 3 minutes 20 as your new race leader and up by 5 positions. Strong stuff from Harris Barber then. Will he continue to, pull away from the two drivers ahead? I would say not, because Dian Pahal, we spoke to him on the grid walk. He is a driver within the Micromaxes that can overtake.
Can indeed. Harris Barber heads into turn number 4 once again. He's had some good results this season, as behind there's a good old swabble going on between Garrett and Pharaoh. And you've got Stubbs in there as well. Dimitar Uzanov has been able to weave his way through to the front of this pack. For Harris Barber, third on the podium last time out at Warden Law for event 1 of these Superior Tools British Kart Championships. Once again, there's a good scrap going on. Ralph Martin has now, Ralph Martin's been caught by this pack and has dropped back into it. So Dimitar Uzanov now up to 4th place. Martin there in the black helmet trying to hold off Garrett. This is good stuff from Alfie Garrett. He's fighting back now as there's a switchback move from LBJ Stubbs. And is there a little bit of rain? There's spots of rain on the commentary box window. Is this going to be one final twist for the Micromax UK drivers? The youngest drivers in the paddock are now going to have to deal with wet conditions at some parts of the track, not all parts of the track. Turn 1 is where the rain is the heaviest, is what's being told in our ears, but there are definitely spots of rain over the start line. What is the pace like? Barber still holds the race lead, but this makes overtaking even trickier now. When you go deep on the brakes, easier to snatch a wheel. Pahal's gone for the race lead. Great stuff from, again, Dian Pahal, as Masiokas and Barber both go for the same piece of Devon at the same time. Is that the moment that's going to give Dian Pahal this race? 1 minute to go, but is the rain coming down harder? It's occasional spots of rain. They're bigger spots of rain than earlier on in the day, but the rate at which they're falling doesn't look to be increasing too much at the moment. May have stopped, in fact. The rain may have stopped out on circuit. 2 more laps. Dian Singh Pahal. For event after event after event, we've been saying that this young driver has had such good heats, but it's been the finals that were the Achilles heel. Barber's gone down the inside of Masiokas for P2. Takes P2 back. That's good news for Pahal. Holds up the two chasing drivers a little bit. Dean Pahal for the Richardson Engineering team. We're not on the final lap yet. Still got one more to go after this. But this could be a mighty, mighty result for the Sikh driver through turn 8. Masiokas is having a go again at Barber. They seem intent on fighting for second place, and second place only today. This is allowing Pahal to stay clear. One more kilometre for Dean Pahal. Over the line is again another fight for second place between Masiokas and Barber, and every time they fight, this helps the race leader. This helps the race leader to stay clear. Masiokas down the... It's a brilliant scrap this for second place. Masiokas takes it again, and it could all be important for championship, of course, as well. These top 3 drivers are going to be your top 3 drivers in the championship come the end of this race. And I reckon are going to be going long through this championship here in Micromax UK as the star drivers. But Dean Singh Pahal, this race result has been a long time coming. Last year was a breakthrough year for Dean Singh Pahal. 2025 is the year Dean Singh Pahal becomes a Vera Tools British Kart Championships round winner. Wow! For the first time on the podium, you will not see a bigger celebration this season. And for the RCE Richardson Engineering team, it's a win as well, as we say.